Hey, this is Therese Skelly, the intuitive business mentor. And today we're going to talk about how to own your value without overgiving. That is a thing. Oh my, I don't know about you. I'm this many decades old. That's six if you're listening in the audio. And so I had a lot of training that, good women just take care of people. Good women sacrifice themselves. Women don't take the last brownie. They give it all away, right? So for me, the whole journey has been about deconstructing what I learned about my value. Why do you think I was a freaking therapist? Because I learned that I could just take care of everybody and then I would be loved and I would be enough. Oh, good hell, it's exhausting. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about, obviously, you know where it comes from. It comes from the conditioning, right? And so, excuse me, what happens is women, women overgive because they don't feel like they're enough, right? We have been raised, women have been raised for years that it's like, oh, you got an A, that's great. Oh, you were in the school play. Awesome. Good girl. Not like, I love the effort you put in. We're always rewarded for the end. And so we get kind of hooked on that. We get a little addicted to, did I win? Did I get the good, like, so I one time years ago, who Ted Turner was. He was a billionaire CNN guy. And this has been a theme of mine for a billion years, like the not enoughness. I'm good today. Today I'm pretty good. But when I was younger, it just bit me in the ass, right? Like, it's never enough. I'm not enough. I got to do more. Maybe if I get this degree, maybe if I do that, or maybe if I do this, it was really like, if I achieve that, then I'll finally be loved because I wasn't raised right. I was praised by all my accomplishments and all the things I fixed and achieved. So I heard a story of Ted Turner. Now, one would look at Ted Turner and say, holy crap, this man was like a billionaire. He owned CNN. He was the original owner of CNN News, and he was a billionaire. And I was so stunned because on paper that would be like, look, see, he achieved, like he got it. He got all the accolades. He was of the position where somebody said, well, wow, you're kind of the big guy. And he said, my whole life, I have been trying to prove to my father that I'm good enough. And it never worked. No matter what I achieved, no matter what I got, it never worked. And I'm thinking, wowza, if a billionaire can't get it by doing all the achievement stuff, maybe I'll try something else. So what happens is this shows up for women. I'll see like somebody offer a program. First of all, I always check pricing. I can tell when I'm like, that's all you're charging? Like, then there are times you want to lower. Sometimes it's strategic to do a lower cost thing to get them in. But when I'm like, you are so good, you've been doing this for how long? And you're, oh, ooh, what would happen if you charge more? That's a whole other thing. That's a whole nervous system issue. That's a whole, that I'll have to do another video on that because that's not just 10 minutes. That's multiple videos. So either you're not charging enough, so you kind of like, I'll minimize what I charge. So maybe is that good for you, right? That's overgiving, right? Also, they pile in, like these women like pile in bonuses, hours, and they drain themselves, right? Like when I first started, I would joke like I could do coaching for you. I'll help you with your copywriting. I'll help you create your programs. I can help you with your sales, and I'll come and wash your car. Will you hire me then? It was like so disgusting because I was so needing to prove that I was valuable, right? I came into the coaching space right as I got divorced. I should say I got dumped, right? It wasn't my choice. It was like, I don't want to be married to you anymore. So I really came in with like, oh, what? I had a ton of proving energy, so much proving energy. So I was definitely in over giving mode. But here's the thing, your value isn't on the externals. Your value isn't on, wow, I got 36 extra bonuses, or she's available 24/7. Your value, especially, and obviously your value as a human is because you made it, you're here, you're God's creation. But in the business context, your value is in the transformation you create for people. Your value is, wow, somebody came to you here and now they're here and you have changed their life. But sometimes we overlook that, right? You're the one that can see, you're the one that can help shift them in ways that if they hadn't gotten that experience with you, who knows where they'd be. I've actually had clients say, I thought you were helping me grow my business, but actually you saved my life. I saved marriages. I've had tremendous success. And for a long time, I probably went, oh, really? Because I was still very much, no, I'm not today. This is probably 10 years ago. I couldn't charge. I was in that icky proving energy thing. So I just want to challenge you is, what if you just trusted that if it's in your heart to do, you're supposed to do it for a reason, right? What if you trusted that God has all the experiences you've ever gone through, the things that you struggled with, the things that you excel at, the education, the experience, the degrees, the heartache, all the things, that's part of the magic of you. And that makes you unique, right? What if you also decide, I'm enough. What I give is enough. Who I am is enough. How I show up is enough. And that means I want you, step one is look at where you're overgiving. So overgiving could be like, I don't want to work on the weekends, but I feel guilty, and maybe this isn't me because I don't work on the weekends, but look, just look at your schedule. Just start right there. Is your schedule serving your life, or are you serving your business? Your schedule, when you look at your schedule, you should be like, oh, nice. Now, obviously, there are times when we got to hustle, we got, launches and things, but is your schedule working for you? That means if you don't want to start the day at 9, don't start the day at 9. Ask me how I know. I don't start the day at 9. I barely start the day at 10. My ideal is I start at 11. Hey, that works for me. And if somebody says, can you come at 7? Like literally somebody asked me just yesterday, they emailed me and said, well, I could do it between 7 and 9 your time. And I'm like, girl, this body does not function at 7 a.m. Doesn't work for me. And I give myself full permission to say that is not going to work for me. So number one, look at your schedule. Are you overgiving your schedule? Number two, look at the rates you are charging. Do they work? Right? If you're working, if you got 30 clients a week and you're charging $100 an hour, it's a big load. That's a lot, right? Is there any way you can leverage? Like if you really knew that you were the bomb, if you knew like, here's a transformation that's possible, would you be charging what you are charging? Because at least in the coaching space, there are people that are charging $1,000 an hour, $5,000 an hour, $10,000 an hour, legit, right? And you're here struggling with like, I feel guilty charging $150. You don't have to, because in our industry, there's a lot of variability. So what would feel if you owned your value, if you were like, this is what I should be paid, not what everybody else says, or not what your family says, or not what, your broke cousin says, what would feel yummy for your work? I want you to do that. And I also want you to look at, where are you not saying no? Where are you still plugged into volunteer things, doing things for the family or the kids? And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm a pretty fierce mama. That's a really important part of my life. But, in my 20s, my boys are in their 20s, and I'd be like, can you iron my pants, Mom? And usually I'm like, oh, God, of course. What 26-year-old could iron their pants? Jesus. And then I start looking like, why am I doing that? And they would be playful. They're like, because you're a woman? I'm like, ah. So just look at those little tiny things that we just do. It's like, do I really want to do that? Is that nourishing me? Is that serving me? Is that serving them? Guess what? My grown sons actually know how to cook, and they do their own laundry. What? It worked. When I was pulling out, and I'm like, you can do it. It actually helped them. So I just want you to look at that. What are the ways where I'm taking my energy and it's maybe poured into something or someone else that is taking away from me? And the reason is I'm doing it to make sure I'm loved and liked, and I don't want to say no, and I already agree, and see where that is. This is where you kind of got to get a little bit ruthless. Like, that is just not going to work for me longer. So that's my hope for you. Really watch the overgiving, make some commitments. Like, I'm going to stop doing that. And then in the extra time you have, it's like, if I was a woman who really valued herself and treasured, what would I do? Maybe you'd get a pedicure. Maybe you'd go on a vacation. Maybe you would just have a really nice day off, right? Or a few hours without having to work for the goodies. All right. Let me know how this lands for you. As always, message me. I would love to hear how you're doing with this. And big hugs, peace and blessings. Bye.